You live in a temperature-controlled box. You order food from a glowing rectangle in your pocket. You can travel across the planet in a matter of hours, and you probably pride yourself on being an independent, self-sufficient, modern adult. But deep inside your skull, your nervous system is completely freaking out. Your brain has absolutely no idea what century it is. As far as your biology is concerned, you are currently stranded in the wilderness, separated from your pack, and in grave danger. For roughly 300,000 years, being alone meant you were going to die. You were going to freeze, starve, or get eaten. Survival was a team sport. Every single instinct, stress response, and dopamine loop you possess was forged in a very specific environment. A small, tight-knit group of about 50 to 150 people huddled around a fire. And even though we traded the savanna for high-rises and the campfire for a smartphone screen, your modern brain is still desperately, aggressively addicted to living in a tribe. Think about the campfire. It wasn't just a way to cook meat or stay warm. It was the ultimate boundary line. Inside the glow of the fire was safety, warmth, and community. Outside that 30-foot ring of light was darkness, predators, and death. Because of that extreme contrast, the campfire became the psychological anchor of the human species. When the sun went down, you didn't keep working. You couldn't. You sat in a circle with the exact same people you had known since the day you were born. You synced your nervous system with theirs. You listened to the tone of their voices. You shared stories that passed down survival knowledge, reinforced social bonds, and built the foundation of human culture. Now, look at your evenings. The sun goes down, but the lights stay blaring. You sit alone, or maybe with one other person, staring at a screen that blasts artificial daylight directly into your retinas. You are consuming thousands of disjointed stories from absolute strangers halfway across the world. You are processing the outrage, panic, and highlight reels of people you will never meet. Your brain is trying to categorize all these strangers as members of your immediate tribe, and it is exhausting. Evolutionary psychologists talk about something called Dunbar's number. It is the cognitive limit to the number of people you can maintain stable social relationships with. For humans, that number is roughly 150. Your brain was built to care deeply about the opinions of those specific 150 people, because if they didn't like you, they would kick you out of the cave and you would starve. Today, we take that intense, life-or-death tribal anxiety and apply it to the internet. When someone leaves a mean comment on your post, or you get ignored in a group chat, your logical mind knows you are perfectly safe. But your Paleolithic brain reacts as if you have just been exiled from the hunting party. It pumps your bloodstream full of cortisol. It triggers the exact same neural pathways that register physical pain. To your ancient brain, social rejection is not a minor inconvenience. It is a fatal wound. This mismatch between our tribal wiring and our modern isolation explains so much of what we think is broken about us. Take sleep, for example. Millions of people wake up at 2 or 3 in the morning, their hearts racing, their minds spinning. Modern medicine labels this sleep maintenance insomnia. We take pills for it. We stress out about it. We stare at the ceiling feeling like our bodies are malfunctioning. But what if you aren't broken? What if you are just remembering? For thousands of years, humans did not sleep in one dead, silent 8-hour block. We slept in a pile of other breathing, snoring, shifting humans. And we slept in phases. You would go to sleep shortly after dark, sleep for about 4 hours, and then wake up in the middle of the night. This wasn't a disorder, it was a built-in survival mechanism. In a tribal setting, someone always needed to be awake to keep the fire going and watch out for danger. This middle-of-the-night waking period was a natural part of the human rhythm. People would sit up, stoke the embers, talk quietly, reflect on their dreams, and then drift back into a second sleep until dawn. When you wake up at 3 in the morning today, your brain is doing exactly what it was programmed to do. It is checking on the tribe. But instead of seeing the comforting glow of a fire and the faces of your family, you are met with pitch-black isolation and the terrifying silence of an empty room. Your brain panics. It interprets that silence as vulnerability. You aren't suffering from a modern disease, you are suffering from a lack of a campfire. We have built a world of incredible comfort, but we have stripped away the environmental cues that tell our brains we are safe. We traded our tight-knit communities for nuclear families and solo apartments. We traded shared stories around the fire for doom scrolling in the dark. We traded the natural rhythms of the sun and the stars for alarm clocks and fluorescent office lights. You cannot out-hack your biology. No amount of productivity apps, expensive mattresses, or self-care routines will change the fact that you are a pack animal. If you feel constantly on edge, if you feel disconnected despite being reachable 24/7, if you are exhausted by the sheer volume of people you are supposed to care about, give yourself some grace. You are operating a prehistoric machine in a digital world. Your brain doesn't want another follower. It doesn't want another life hack. It wants the reassurance of the pack. It wants to know that when the darkness falls, there is a fire burning, someone is keeping watch, and you are not out there alone.